All right, everyone. Today, we're gonna make a take on japchae, which is a traditional Korean noodle dish served hot or room temperature, very occasionally served any cooler than that. And it is made with these incredible sweet potato glass noodles. I'm making mine with beef. We're gonna marinate the beef. We're gonna cook off a lot of different veg so that we can bring it all together at the same time and have all the veg actually have texture and maintain their distinct flavors, and bring it all together with a little sauce. The ingredients are easy, a couple of pantry items. You can make it vegetarian if you like, but is one of my favorite ways to put together a quick and easy weeknight meal. So check it out. Step one, I'm gonna thinly slice some of this New York strip loin, and I'm gonna combine it with a little bit of my, oh, Luca, get down from there. I'm gonna combine it with some of my marinating sauce, which has toasted sesame oil, a little bit of rice wine, sugar, soy sauce, and garlic. Pretty simple. Oh, and a little bit of mirin as well. Nice, thin slices at a 45-degree angle work superbly for this. That is what we are looking for. That way it will quickly absorb the marinade. Super simple. I'm making enough to feed a couple of hungry people. You want to count on about 4 ounces of beef, 5 ounces of beef per portion, something like that. And take a nice big garlic clove, put it on a microplane, and add that. You can put the garlic into your marinade mixture just right on top of the beef and pour it over, because you're gonna mix this around anyway, and the beef is gonna get sauteed. I always throw away that little stem piece at the end. And then I've got my sauce. I'm just stirring to dissolve the sugar, and then just pour that right over the beef and garlic. Give that a nice stir so all the beef is in contact with the marinade. By the way, this is a great marinade just for grilled barbecued beef with a Korean vibe to it. And just let that sit, at room temperature for 20 minutes while you get the rest of the dish together. At the same time that I'm measuring out my sauce mixture for the marinade, I've also done the same thing, just slightly bulkier, for my sauce that is going to go on to the finished vegetables and beef when the japchae is being put together, except the only difference is I'm gonna add a whole hot chili to that as well. thinly sliced cabbage, because, I mean, really, can't make japchae, even a inspiration of japchae, without thinly sliced cabbage. And of course, some thinly sliced onion that we're gonna sear, nice hard sear, and then reserve as well. And of course, shiitake mushroom, just remove the stem. Thin julienne of shiitake mushroom. And I have a little vegetable slicer here that I'm using to do some julienne of carrot. Makes really short work of something that if I have 3 or 4 carrots I want to julienne, I usually use a mandolin or vegetable slicer of some kind. Makes them all nice and uniform. Chefs use them, don't worry, you're not cheating. All right, so we've got our marinated beef. We have our carrots, our mushrooms, our red pepper, our onions, our scallions, our cabbage, our spinach. We have our beaten egg. We have our sauce ready to go. I'm gonna get some water boiling. We'll start cooking the vegetables. Then we will bring this whole thing together by sauteing each item separately. Some just take seconds. Don't worry, it's not tedious. And then combine it all together in a big bowl or in a saute pan, depending on whether you want it hot or room temperature. And we're gonna get our sweet potato starch noodles going in a big way. Now, I have toasted sesame oil in the marinade. I have a little bit of toasted sesame oil in the finishing sauce. Traditionally, if you're making a true Korean japchae, you would use toasted sesame oil to flash saute all the vegetables. Well, I find I have plenty of roasted sesame oil flavor and roasted sesame oil in those other 2 elements. So I use toasted rapeseed oil, which is also known as toasted canola oil. It's a Chinese product. It gives a wonderful smoky flavor without being too overwhelming. I find sesame oil can sometimes be really big. And of course, I'm gonna throw in some fabulous toasted sesame seeds at the end of this whole thing to kind of finish the dish. Make sense? Carrots. Don't worry about it folding over. If you've cooked it long enough on one side, you can just pick it up and put it on the plate, let it cool before you slice it. Mushrooms. And you want to get a real hard sear on your onions and mushrooms so you get that roasted vegetable flavor into your noodle dish. So you see here with the onions, we are going for a really nice hard sear. The more of that smoky, delicious scorchiness, the better. You're not blackening it, you're getting a nice brown sear on it. Few quarts of salted water on the boil. Whoopsie. Don't want that to happen. I happen to like this brand because they already cut the noodles for you. It's just, well, I'll reach in there and get that. Don't make that mistake. When you drain these noodles, you're going to want to toss it with a tablespoon or so of sesame oil or vegetable oil so they don't stick together. Peppers. Scallions. I do those at the same time because they cook in the same amount of time. Just a hard, high, quick scorch. So everything is ready. Let's put it together. First thing we got to do, we have to brown all of that incredible beef in a few tablespoons of oil. These are small slices. I'm just going to let them sort of hard sear on one side in this pan where it all sort of fits just evenly. All right, so the meat is browning, so we don't want to overcook it. And you can see here when I take a piece from the middle, got some nice browning on there. So let's put in our onions. The idea here in our mushrooms is to put in 2 or 3 veg at a time, our carrots, and spread it across the top. You have to move very quickly because we don't want to overcook our meat. And the minute we start to stir, we're going to stop some of that searing from happening. You see that beautiful sear right there. We've now interrupted that process by introducing those other elements. And then what we're able to do is one by one add our other elements. There's some cabbage and our red pepper scallion mixture, all those vegetables. And we just want to warm this back up again, get some thermal momentum in our pan before we add our finishing sauce. We add the rest of these and our egg. Remember that cut egg a long time ago? And this is the only vegetable that I really use my hands on, and I didn't squeeze the liquid out, but I just make sure to scatter the spinach. And just turn and turn. Now don't be alarmed. This is a large pan. I'm making a double batch. What I want to do is get these vegetables and everything hot again. The meat is perfectly cooked. You can smell all those fabulous flavors in there of the mirin and the rice wine and the soy and that little bit of sugar. And then I do want to sprinkle some golden sesame seeds in there now, because I want them to sizzle along with that. And then we're going to add our liquid seasoning and our noodles. And so this is a similar mixture to before with the mirin, the soy, the sugar, the sesame oil, but we have ground black pepper and 1 minced hot chili. And I'm just gonna spoon that out over there. You know, not much, just enough to sort of coat, create a little steam in there. And then we're going to add those incredible noodles that we drained. Sometimes if it's a big family event, I will serve these in the pan. But a lot of times I will just dump this into a mixing bowl and mix it with my hands. But tonight I'm just going to serve it in this bowl. And the food it's hot, but it's not scorching, despite the fact that we're simmering at the bottom here. And our vegetables and our noodles, which were firm, sort of al dente, are going to absorb a little bit more of that liquid. And I just keep lifting from the bottom and making sure to stir this together. And this is about the ratio that you want. Very dense with vegetables, scattered with beef and those gorgeous sweet potato noodles. This is one of those dishes that at this point is ugly beautiful. The Italians have a word for it that I'm not remembering right now, but that is about as perfect as Japchae gets. So I guess the only thing left to do is to give it a little taste, see how we did. Do you want to try it? Okay. There you go. Oh, Clemmy, you want to try it too? Hey, you can have an onion. I mean, that's about the most perfect food in the whole world. Sweet, salty, savory, absolutely delicious, and even your legatos will love it.